Have you seen a difference over the 25 years of the dating culture on your
100%.
campus?
100%.
Tell us a little bit about
And to be honest, and that's also part of, I've evolved. I started out young.
I always say I also run a Chabad house on campus in Princeton. And I always say when I first moved out, I was literally their age.
Yeah.
And now I'm their parents' age.
Right. And I think that once you develop a relationship with a student, that like your role can change, but your place in your relationship doesn't necessarily. So you probably started out as their bestie and their friend.
Exactly.
And then you were maybe an older sister, and now you're a mom figure.
I always say that.
Whether you like it or not, that's what we are.
As long as we stay away from Rebbetzin.
Exactly. But they always come to us, to just hear our opinions. And as society and as things develop and the craziness gets crazier, I feel like we're such a strong sense. We haven't faltered. We haven't changed, and we haven't, altered our views at all. So whether our role has changed, our opinions may have changed because we see things differently. At the core of it, we're so strong in what we know and what we believe that people do tend to come to us for just that. So the evolution of relationships over this 25-year span has definitely changed. I think, with social media, and things are so much quicker paced, the dating apps are just out of control, right? So that for sure has impacted relationships. Whereas, when we started, it was a little bit more organic. There was a little bit more of, I'll open the door, and that whole...
More personal.
I don't know about personal. I think the whole thing shifted. I think maybe the initial part was more personal. The development may like the starting point may be different, but as the relationship develops, it ultimately is the same, right?
Okay.
It's just people are looking for their better half, their other half, their basher, to start and settle and build a family and a life with.
But do you think that because of all of this new technology and the dating apps, their expectations for things to happen quicker is something that they're expecting? And then when it doesn't happen, like, boom, they're like, well, then this is not it, and I have to try something else?
100%. It's that instant gratification, right? You swipe right.
A whole generation.
You swipe left. You're in, you're out. So 100% it's impacted relationships on a whole. I do think as Jewish people, at the core of it, we have this value of Jewish marriage. So bottom line is, again, the beginning may look different, and the settling, the getting to the point where you settle down may come from a different avenue. But when you look at who we are and the importance and the stress that Judaism puts on a Jewish family and having that setting, that hasn't changed, right? So I think the direction that we're coming from has changed 100%. And it's made it harder in certain ways, but it's also made it easier and more accessible, right?
Right.
You had to really, where am I going? I have, the students, once they graduate, I always encourage them, try and find somebody while you're here, because once you leave, finding those, where is everybody? Where am I going to find? Where are the Jews at? How do I find them? Because it becomes a lot more tricky. But having these apps does assist in that way.